Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, this is Tim Janakos. I'm so excited. Today we have a special guest joining the call who's going to be taking your calls. Her name is Karin Davidson, and she's a certified hypnotherapist, a Reiki master, an EFT trainer, and the first matrix re-imprinting trainer in the U.S. She's also co-founder of the Meridian Tapping Techniques Association and co-author of the EFT Levels Comprehensive Training Resource Course book. So, welcome to the call, Karin Davidson. Welcome to the call.
Hi. And it's always nice to hear your music, Tim.
Oh, thank you. So I'm going to turn it right over to Karin. There's already 2 calls on hold, and we're going to turn it over, and you can start introducing yourself more, or introduce what you're going to do.
Okay, so cool. The first thing I want to do is do a really quick demonstration on what the heck tapping is, and it's not the kind you do with your feet and make noise on the carpet or on the floor. It's something you do with your fingers. What it is you take 2 fingers. Normally is what you do, your index finger and your middle finger, and you actually lightly press or tap on specific acupressure points, and it makes you feel better. That's how simple it is, and I know, Tim, that you know what that is. So we're going to do a real quick demonstration using only 3 of the acupressure points just so that we can show people how this works real quick. Now, we usually use from between 7 and 10 acupressure points. This has started way long ago in Chinese medicine, but it also was used recently by a man named Roger Callahan, who used thought field therapy. And what he did is he used kinesiology or muscle testing to figure out whatever your problem was, what specific acupressure points to push. So if you've seen on Chinese medicine and the acupuncture points where they put needles in your body to make you feel better, there's like over 2,000 points. Well, you don't need to know all those. What you need to do is just push. There's what we call meridians, or pathways in your body where the energy flows through your body. You have veins in your body, right, to put blood through, and what we have is the energy points that your energy flows through. So, and what happens is when you get upset, stress, we all know what stress is about, right? What you do is those pathways get blocked, and you experience a negative emotion. You get angry, you get stressed, you get upset. There's all kinds of negative emotions that can happen. And by lightly stimulating, pressing, pushing, tapping on these points, it's like a bulldozer. It pushes through the block and these energy pathways, and you feel better. That's exactly how simple it is. So, am I crazy, or does this really actually work? We're going to find out right now. So what I'd like everybody to do is to think of a negative emotion they're feeling right now. You can feel tired. You can feel anxious. The big one is I feel stress. Whatever it is, I want everybody to label their emotion. I'm tired. I'm anxious. I'm stressed. So, and I want you to do it too, Tim. So I want you to pick an emotion, a negative emotion you're feeling right now. So I need everybody who's on the call to just think of a negative emotion. And then the important thing is not only to label that negative emotion, but to put a number on it. 0 means it's not bothering you at all, and 10 means you're going to run screaming out of the room. So if you're tired, that means you're falling asleep 10 is you fall asleep in your chair. If you're anxious, you're going to scream. So whatever the emotion is, if you're angry, you're going to throw something that's a 10. But if you're a 5 or a 6 or a 7 or whatever the negative emotion is, please label that. And it's always best to write it down, because as we're tapping or as we're stimulating the acupressure points, it's going to start going down. So everybody write down what their emotion is and the number. Okay, so Tim, since you're on the phone, why don't you say yours out loud? Do you have a negative emotion?
Overworked. I'm overworked. It's a level 5.
So we're all overworked. So what does that make you feel like? Let's get specific. What does overworked make you feel like?
Feels like I have too many things to do, so I feel stressed out. Burdened by too many things to do.
Okay, that's a good one. Burdened is a good one. And burdened, 0 to 10.
Now, just saying burden, I feel 8. I was feeling 5 when I said overworked, but now it's 8.
Yeah, that's what happens when people do it out loud. That's why I try to be specific, because the more specific you are with tapping, the more it works. And as soon as you open your mouth and say it, and as soon as you focus on it, it's going to go up. And that's a good thing because you're truly focused. And tapping works best when you're focused on the bad thing. We are taught in our life never to look at the bad thing, to bury it, to not worry about it, to look the other way, not to say the bad thing. That's the good thing about tapping is you are allowed only when you're tapping to focus on the bad thing because it's going to disengage your body from it. It's going to lower that negative emotion. So when we're tapping, it's the only time that really we can voice the negative. So when you say you're burdened, then it shot up to an 8. That's a good thing. So and the good thing about tapping too is in this experiment, it doesn't matter in this example that you say you're overwhelmed or burdened or I'm anxious or somebody else is tired. It doesn't matter because it all works.
Someone's in pain. I'm sure someone's in pain.
Pain, yeah, it works for pain too. So you're burdened and it's an 8. So now you're going to hear me say the words this emotion, or I might say I'm burdened or I'm overwhelmed. It doesn't matter that I'm saying a word different from what your emotion is, because as long as you have written it down, you are actually working on your own emotion because our subconscious connects to what we are personally feeling because humans are empathetic and sympathetic. So you're going to Google in your mind your own issues. So that's why it's so cool and it can work no matter who you're working with. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take...
2 more callers come on. So one caller from the 301 area code, please tap along with us and just think of your own emotion you want to clear right now. And also Amy's on the line and another couple calls just came in. So everyone tap along with us.
Identify your own emotion, and so you label your own emotion, and you number it from 0 being it's not bothering you at all to 10 it's going to drive you crazy. So you do your own emotion. This is just an experiment to show you that this is an example that this works, and then we're going to get into absolute details. Sometimes we say we like everybody to tap along because it will help your own issues even if this particular issue isn't yours, and it won't absolutely magically make you have the issue. So if you tap on green skin, you're not going to suddenly have green skin. Luckily, the body is able to do that kind of thing. So what we're going to do now is now that everybody's labeled their emotion and then given a scale of 0 to 10 of their own emotion, we're going to tap generally on this, and you're going to tap along with me. We're only going to use right now 3 points to show you how well this works. So everyone, I want to take your 4 fingers of one hand, and you're going to tap on the underside of your other hand where the pinky finger is, where what we call a karate master would chop a board. It's called the karate chop point. So I want you to just lightly tap with all the 4 fingers of one hand on the fatty part of the hand, sometimes it's called, on the side where your pinky is, and just tap on that. Just tap, 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 very lightly. It's not as important if you tap hard or soft. It's not going to make it any better. And you just tap on that, and I want everybody to say out loud, and Tim, could you please say, I have this emotion.
I have this emotion.
And you keep tapping, tap, 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 I have this emotion.
I have this emotion.
Tap, 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 I have this emotion.
I have this emotion.
Just take a breath and keep tap, 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 tap. Breathe and tap. I know it feels silly, but it's going to start to feel better. Just tap, tap, tap. Now the next point I'm going to tell you, you're going to cup your hand so that your hand makes sort of a little claw, and you're going to put all your tips of your fingers on your collarbone point, which is what we call it, which is on both sides of where a guy would tie his tie or a necklace would hang. These are called the collarbone points because it's where that little knobby thing is where your collarbone is, like right in the middle of your chest. So just take your whole hand, all 5 fingers, and just tap, 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 tap on that point, on those points right there. And you can hear my voice, see how it's tapping. I'm just very lightly tapping, and then you say this emotion.
This emotion.
And you're going to do it again and say this emotion. Keep tapping. This emotion.
This emotion.
And just breathe and tap and say this emotion.
This emotion.
Okay, keep tapping. This emotion. You're pushing
this
through
emotion.
these spots. This emotion. This negative emotion. Okay, and you can even say whatever your emotion is, which is yours is burdened.
Mine's burden. Okay, this burden I have.
It's overwhelm.
It's overwhelm.
Okay, now the next point is the very tippy top of your head, which is where, if you were a Christmas ornament, your little string would be. So it would be very tippy top of your head. You take that same claw, all 5 fingers, and you tap on the top of your head, and you say this emotion.
This emotion.
And take a big breath. This emotion.
This emotion.
Okay. This emotion.
This
and then you
emotion.
go back to the karate chop point, which is the side of your hand and all 4 fingers, and you say this emotion.
This emotion.
Take a big breath. Okay. And so I'd like everybody to think of their emotion that they wrote down, and then grade it to 0 to 10 level again. 99 times out of 100, they will have gone down, and I'll tell you the 1 time out of 100 why it doesn't. So for you, Tim, you were
it went down to 6.
overwhelmed. So you went down 2 points.
It was at 8. It went down to 6.
Okay. So what that means is, okay. Well, you can also feel it. You can also, it's subjective. These are called, 0 to 10 is actually called a SUD scale, subjective units of distress. They use it in hospitals for pain.
Okay, when I do muscle test, it says it was 9 before, and now it's 6, so it went down 3.
Okay.
I'm bad with subjective thinking.
So you're bad. That's okay. You can muscle test. That's great. So the key here is that we only, the key is we only did 3 points, and we only did what's called 1 round. We actually use about 10 points. They're always the same 10 points. It hits 14 different meridians, which is how many meridians we have in our body. But what we did is we just tapped just to show you on 3 points, and we only did 1 round. And you dropped down to 3 points, depending on if it was muscle test effective. So that's how tapping works. So what we use tapping for is when we're upset. When we're in the middle of something, we get an email from somebody, we get a phone call from somebody, we're mad at our spouse, we're upset with our kids, we feel stressed or whatever it is. I mean, whatever we're doing, we're in road rage, whatever it is we use tapping to just, it's sort of like a 911 to make us feel better. And you just tap on, you can just use those 3 points that I just showed you, and it makes you feel better, because when you're stressed, you can't think. If you tap, you bring those emotions down, you can think better, you're going to be able to react to things better. And that's simply, if we could just teach tapping to the world, that would be great. And kids, wouldn't it be great to get rid of your baggage by 6 instead of 60? So if we could teach tapping to our kids, and so even if it's just those 3 points, that's wonderful. I'm also going to teach you one more thing so that you have a tool. Everyone who's listening has a tool before we get into some real problems and how we use it with the body code. There's points on the sides of your fingers, so you can squeeze the sides of your nail bed, the sides, not the top. You're pinching the sides of your fingers. If you could just squeeze the sides of your fingers when you're upset, that's going to change your life. Because what you're doing is you're lowering the stress levels before they even go down into your body. So if nothing else you learn on this call, learn to squeeze the sides of your fingers so that you can help yourself in your daily life. And I know it sounds silly, but it really, really, really does work. So how do we use this with the body code, and how do we use this to help ourselves get better? Well, what we do is, knowing that tapping helps us lower stress is wonderful, but how do we use it to clear things? So in the body code, we have trapped emotions, we have structural issues, we have circuitry issues. All these things are wonderful, and Dr. Bradley Nelson, he came up with the body code and the emotion code, and it's a wonderful thing. What I use EFT for, that's what we call it, emotional freedom techniques, is tapping. What I use it for specifically in the body code is the subconscious resistance to change. What the heck does that mean? That means that who would I be if I didn't get mad? This is my coping skill. I have all my life, I'm just using that as an example, I would be, the only way I can hold my ground is I will never let him get away with it. He did this to me. He cheated on me. If I let this go, then he gets away with it. So we can try to release trapped emotions, and sometimes they're sticky. So what I use is tapping to release the stickiness, and we tap and say, I'll never let this go. You can't make me let this go. And we tap on the points. You can't make me let this go, because if I let this go, I'll get away with it. And you tap on the negative like we do with tapping. And what it does is it opens a little door so that we can use the body code to clear the trapped emotion of anger, or the trapped emotion of betrayal, or the trapped emotion of whatever it is we feel. So that's how I combine EFT with the body code. So if we want to have an example, let's listen to the first caller.
Perfect. Let's take Deva. She was the first one on, so we'll take Deva here. Hello, Deva.
Hi, Tim. How you doing?
Great. So I'll let Karin take over.
Okay. So what is it, Deva, that you're having an issue with?
Right now, self-image.
Self-image.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we can, as we know, as the body code, what's holding us back. What is the negative about the self-image that you don't like? What is it that you're saying to yourself?
Just that I'm not good enough for fill in the blank, anything. Physical appearance is really, my physical appearance after having kids and everything is really, and I've had a few people contribute to the negative.
And other people have said things.
What's that?
Other people have said things?
Yeah, my ex-husband, and yeah.
Okay. I hear some sadness in there, too.
Definitely.
Okay. So this is also painful to you. So we could jump right into the body code, but I'd like to do first, just to give you an example, is I just want to tap really generally on that sadness. Would that be okay?
Of course.
Okay, so if that sadness, you have a sadness that he said that, and what other negative feelings come up?
Yeah.
Can you just label them for me?
Not being good enough, I guess. I don't know, insecurity.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry, yeah, I'm really...
you're emotional, so that's fine. So I just want you to tap on the karate chop point where I showed you and say, I'm sad.
And everyone tap along with us.
Yes, please, because we have something called borrowing benefits, which is, even if it's not your issue, it'll help you release some things that you have in you. So just tap on your karate chop and say, I'm sad. And you might get emotional, and that's okay. But if you can, repeat what I say. I'm sad.
I'm sad.
I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough.
They said those things about me.
They said those things about me.
And then I'm going to just tell you some other points. It's on the beginning of your eyebrow. Just take the two fingers on the beginning of your eyebrow. It doesn't have to be exact. And say, I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough.
And along the side of the eye on the bone, I'm sad.
I'm sad.
Under the eye, I'm insecure about this.
Yeah, I watched the video.
Pardon?
I said I watched the video.
Okay, and then tap under your nose and say, I'm insecure about this.
I'm insecure about this.
And the crease of your chin, I'm insecure about this.
I'm insecure about this.
I know this is going to sound funny, but we have to say the negative. I want you to tap on that collarbone point I showed you about with your whole hand and say, I will never get over this.
I will never get over this.
It's okay to say the negative because we're releasing it. Keep tapping there and say, I'll never get over this.
I will never get over this sadness.
And then on the top of your head, and just say, yes, I will.
Yes, I will.
And then I just want you to say, no, I won't.
No, I won't.
And say again, yes, I will, as you tap the top of your head.
Yes, I will.
Okay, just take a big breath for me. All right, so now we're going to go to the body code. What this does is open kind of a door, and I'm going to just start working on this and say it's on the right side of the chart, no. Is it the left side of the chart? Yes. We're going to go to an energy, yes. It is emotional, no. Is it post-traumatic, no. Allergy intolerance, mental, it's mental. Okay, so the right side of the chart, no. Left side of the chart, yes. Is it a need for a T3, despair anchor? Is it no will to live? So it's a no will to live. So what I want you to do is keep tapping on your collarbone point, okay?
Okay.
Just tap on that, or you can rub or press if you don't want to tap. And so we're going to just release this no will to live. Now, what I'm going to do is, now what we do is, with Dr. Bradley Nelson, he says go over the top of our head, okay? So what I do is I actually tap from between your eyebrows up over the top of your head on the governing meridian, up over that top of the head, back to the back of the neck as far as you can reach. Okay, so we're going to do that 3 times. And we're just going to say with gratitude for finding and clearing this no will to live. Over the top of the head, you don't have to know where it is. And usually what I feel is you might feel this, we only have to do that 3 times, what you might feel is sort of when you worry and then you stop worrying, or you might feel a release in your solar plexus. That's what I feel a lot of times. So I use tapping over the top of the meridian. So is that no, and so you can stop tapping, is that no will to live gone? Okay, no it isn't, so that means, it usually means that it is some kind of an inherited. So, okay, I am getting some resistance. Am I connected to Diva? Yes. Is there a resistance here? Do we need to tap away the resistance? Okay. All right, so I just want you to do is tap on and this what's happened. It's probably you have come forward first because you're a wonderful example and you're going to be able to help the world. So you have the resistance to do this. And so what I'd like you to do is just tap on your karate chop and just say, if I was good enough.
If I was good enough.
Then I'd have to do something.
Then I have to do something.
If I was good enough.
If I was good enough.
Then I would have to step forward.
Then I would have to step forward.
And just tap on I'm just going to have you go back to the collarbone point. Remember that?
Okay. Yep.
Where where you tie your necklace is. And I want you to say, if they stop saying those things.
If they stop saying those things.
Then I'd have to live up to that new me.
Then I would have to live up to that new me.
And I'm not sure.
And I'm not sure.
I'm ready to live up to that new me.
That I'm not ready to live up to that new me.
And top of the head. If I was good enough.
If I was good enough.
And if I had a good physical appearance.
And if I had a good physical appearance.
That would mean I would have to do all those things.
That would mean I'd have to do all of those things.
And I couldn't use that as an excuse anymore.
And I couldn't use that as an excuse anymore.
And tap on the side of your hand again. And I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
And I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
That's silly. Of course I am.
That's silly. Of course I am.
Maybe I could feel both of those things at the same time.
Maybe I could feel both of those things at the same time.
And I choose now.
And I choose now.
To be able to be open to the possibility.
To be able to be open to possibility.
That I can do this.
That I can do this.
Even if I'm not sure I'm good enough.
Even if I'm not sure I'm good enough.
I'd like to learn to be.
I'd like to learn to be.
Okay. So and I'm going to go back to the body code chart, and that's on the left side, and that's on the right side, yes? Are we still in, okay, now we're in emotional. So now what has happened is we've been able to open up the door to clearing things. So I'm going to say, is column A? No, is it column B? Yes, is it odd? Yes, is it 1, 3, 5? It's a 5. Conflict, creative, insecurity, terror. Okay, so we have a few. Conflict, creative, insecurity, terror. Okay, so let's, are we willing to release the terror? Yes, okay, so we don't need to know what this is. We just have a trapped emotion of terror, which would make sense if you have to step forward. So I just want you to tap over the top of the governing meridian and just tap over that 3 times. We're going to release that terror. Gratitude for finding and clearing that terror. Okay, so what happens to me is I find this like sort of door opening in the middle of my solar plexus. You can tell us if you feel any difference, but sometimes you don't. So that's a terror. Is that it? Yes. Okay. Is that terror gone? No. So is there a heart wall with this terror? Yes. So can we clear this heart wall? Yes. Do I have a connection with data? Yes. So let's go ahead and clear that terror heart wall. Sometimes it's just a piece of a heart wall, but that's where we are, is in this terror, which would make sense. Okay. And you can stop tapping. Is that terror cleared? No. So we have emotional resonance. Yes. So let's clear that emotional resonance of terror. Do we need to know more? No. Okay. Now, when you think of your self-image and you're not good enough at anything, how tight are you now? How much does that make you? How much tightness do you feel when you say you're not good enough? When we first started, on a scale of 0 to 10, what were you and what are you now?
Well, about a 9 initially, and now I'd have to say probably about an 8, 7.
Okay.
It's a big hurdle, so I'm sure.
Oh yes, no, it's an absolute. I have to let everyone know that not good enough and physical appearance are probably the most. It's like a bowl of spaghetti. there are so many emotions put together with that kind of thing that it takes a lot. That's why I like people to tap along with it. And when we're doing the body code and we're clearing something like you have terror, I want everybody to tap over their governing meridian, because, trust me, we all have something that we're working on that is connected with that, and we can clear it while we tap along with somebody else, clearing it over the governing meridian. Or if you use the magnet, that's fine too, whatever it is that you use going over the top of your governing meridian. So, Deb, I want to do one more thing with you, and since we have other people on the call, I want to go to someone else, but let's go ahead and do one more for you, okay? I'm just going to go back to the general body code system chart and say if there's anything else we can help for right now. No. Okay, can we do one more? No. Okay, no, so like Tim says, what happens is your body understands that there's other people on the line, and we are all good people inside, whether we know it or not. And so that because there's other people online, there's someone else that's going to come forward. So we're going to come back to you, okay? Please tap along with us with other ones.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
so
you, Deb.
Tim, can you bring the next person on?
Yes. We're going to bring on Amy, and she's in Texas. So,
hi, Amy.
Amy, how are you doing?
Oh, my God. Hi. I was tapping along with you, and I just started bawling.
I did, too. Every time I've worked with Karin, I start crying.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
That's a good thing, by the way. Crying is a relief.
Opened up. I just realized something from that with her about me. I'm like, wow,
That's what happens. We get, and that's what's so great about tapping is you can tap along to YouTube videos, to DVDs, to what we're doing, and it's going to release something in you because of the thing we call borrowing benefits. And so what can happen is our bodies go out and go, okay, this is what I'm like. That part I can relate to that. I can relate to that. And you are literally releasing things in you while we're working with others. And don't be afraid. You cry, people yawn. I actually have a client who passes gas. All right. So yawning,
I really,
crying.
I'm very, I burp a lot. Release
you burp a lot.
So I'm very aware of it. Releasing energy.
So that's okay. So this is it's just it's just moving energy. Some people I get people who tingle, or shake. So all that's good. Most people start to tear up a lot. And Tim did. The first time I worked with Tim, he did cry. Because when yes, what happens is, you access things. I'm helping you access things that you don't normally access. In the body code, where, it's so quick, with EFT and with tapping, what happens is the emotions come to the surface so quickly. So that's a wonderful thing. So what do you have, Amy, that we can help you with?
I'm kind of like, huh? No. Wow, it's hard to take a breath right now. But what came up for me, I've been working with Tim for a while, and Tim's great. And
yes, he is.
I realized I have a so-called incurable disease, and what I just realized, anyway, they're not good enough. It's like if I didn't have this disease, I'd actually have to be out there and do what I'm supposed to be doing.
Amy, I want to thank you. I do greatly. That touches my heart because, there's so many people that come to me that, who would they be if they weren't diabetic? Who would they? I have a friend who waits till he gets to the restaurant before he gives himself his shot in the public. He doesn't do it in the car. He doesn't do it in the restaurant. He waits and goes to the table so that we can feel sorry for him. And he is an amazing person. He just needs that support. And if we get, that is 50% of getting to heal yourself, is to understand, who would I be if I wasn't X? And that's so hard for people to understand. I have another client who has knee problems, and she's like, well, there's no reason. We call it the downside of losing a problem. There's no downside of losing my problem. And when we talked, she said, well, my kids wouldn't visit me as much if my knees didn't hurt. Mm-hmm. And it's so difficult to be able to know that. And sometimes I just work around it, and we can tap. We can just tap on that. Who would I be without this? What would I have to do?
I realize I've been hiding.
Okay, let's just tap on your karate chop. I've been hiding.
I've been hiding.
You don't have to talk. It's okay. You can just tap with me, and I'll say it for you. I've been hiding. And you're going to just tap on and then I'm going to do all the points with you, okay? Because I want to hit all the meridians on your eyebrow points. I've been hiding. Side of the eye. I didn't know I was hiding. Under the eye. Nobody wants a disease. That's silly. Under the nose. I've now figured out that I didn't know how to be. Chin. It was so much easier having this. It was so much easier. Collarbone. I am now choose to be somebody without this. I can do this, even if I can't. And then it's where your bra strap is under your armpit.
Uh-huh.
Just say, I didn't realize this. I have a so-called incurable disease. And top of your head. It's so-called incurable because I didn't know I needed it. And karate chop. Silly me. I choose now to forgive myself because I needed something like a disease. And that's okay because I'm a human and I need love. Okay, and go back to the eyebrow. I just need the love. Side of the eye. I didn't know I needed a disease. Under the eye. I choose now to find a different way to get love and attention. And under the nose. And I choose now to start with loving myself, even if I can't. Chin. This is a new beginning for me. Collarbone point. I am grateful for finding this information out. And under the arm, I'm grateful for finding this information out because now I can get rid of my so-called incurable disease. Top of the head. This is a whole new world for me now. And just breathe and say, I'm proud of myself for finding this out. Okay, Amy? And on a scale of 0 to 10, how are you doing? I'm not good enough. Just breathe. Keep tapping on any point you want. Let's just keep tapping a little more. Go ahead. Let's just tap through a little more, and everyone else tap on their own points because we all have I'm not good enough. I don't care if you're Obama, you're not good enough. You know, it doesn't matter who you are, you're not good enough. People feel that, so just tap on a point and tell me how you're doing, Amy.
I'm doing okay. It's so much of an awareness I didn't even know, you know?
Sure.
Like you don't know that you don't know, you know?
Yeah. And, 50% of healing the problem is recognizing that you have it and that it's normal. Amy, I have to tell you that you should be proud of yourself, that's huge for someone to understand that it's a crutch it's like an alcoholic going, I'm an alcoholic. They can start to heal because you're releasing that block. And as soon as you release that block, the healing comes so much faster. So when you work with Tim on the body code, it's going to work so much faster because you already know there's a reason you need this. And we release the need. Would you like to work real quickly? Let's see what time it is. Yes. Would you like to work real quickly a little bit on the body code to release this?
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's just do that. Let's see what we can do now. It's on the right side of the chart. Do I have a connection with Amy? I don't. Is it okay to have a connection with Amy? I have a connection with Amy now, yes. On the right side of the chart, yes. Is it energies? Yeah, you'll find with me, because I'm working with EFT, that it's going to be a lot of energies, because I can, in rather than the other parts of the code, because I work a lot with emotions. Is it emotional? Is it post-traumatic? Okay, so it's post-traumatic, but I'm feeling that that's not what we're going to work first. We're going to allergy intolerance. I'm picking up a lot of offensive. Is it correct?
Yeah.
So we
I'm like a little psychic sponge radio receiver here.
All right, so we have a saboteur. Do we need to know more now? Okay, so
Wow.
I'm picking up a lot of saboteurs. One thing I do want to say about a saboteur is many times it's not somebody else's fault. It's that even somebody says something, and especially with I'm not good enough, what happens is we like almost take the knife and pull it into us. We almost take, it's like, oh, you are right, I am not good enough. I deserve this knife and this bat and this, this burning spear. And so we tend to like hold on to these energy weapons that people didn't even mean to make an energy weapon. And that happens a lot with I'm not good enough. So I'm going to clear a bunch of them now. This is going to make you extremely tired. So what I'd like you to do after this is to drink a lot of water, and you might get sore. Your body might be sore, okay? So am I allowed to release more? Amy? All right, can we release more than one? Do we need to know more? No. Okay, so luckily we don't need to know more. Tim, if you could help me, let's just release these saboteurs. There's a number of them. I'm going to tell you what I feel. All right, and just tap over the top of your head of the governing meridian from between your eyebrows to the back of your neck, and just tap over that. And just breathe for me, big, deep breaths, Amy, and I'm going to start releasing these saboteurs. Is it okay to release these saboteurs? Okay, so there's one in your neck. There's one in the middle of your back. There's one on the back of your neck. There's one in the back of your head. Holy moly, Amy. And you might start tearing up. It's okay. There's another one in your below your nose. There's another one in your lower back. There's another one in your middle of your lower back. There's another one in your sacrum. There's another one there's a couple in your feet. My goodness gracious, my dear. Okay. And sometimes you'll hear me get emotional too. So we're just going to release all these. Give them back. I'm going to say, if you're not religious, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give them back to God or to the universe so they can go. One of my clients called it recycle. I'm going to recycle all those. Gratitude for finding and clearing and letting Amy let these go because she does not deserve them because she's a child of God. And she has love in her heart. She does not need to hold on to these. Okay. Gratitude for finding and releasing. And just breathe for me. Okay, I'm slow down my tapping. And the one in the middle of the chest and the one in the center. Okay, that's a little much, so let's just slow down. I'm clearing the field around you. Gratitude, finding and clearing. Okay. And I'm just going to bring some energy from the earth up into your body to hold you together. And energy from the universe down from the top to hold you just together while you heal. And releasing all these. And I'm getting a lot from childhood as well. Teasing of some sort.
God.
We'll just release all of those because you don't need them anymore. Gratitude for finding and releasing all these saboteurs. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Please, Amy, drink a lot of water. Don't try to figure this out afterwards. And Amy, I just want you to say, I choose now to love myself.
I choose now to love myself.
Even if I don't know how.
Even if I don't know how.
Good. Okay, we're releasing the rest of these saboteurs. Okay. Very good. Good. So I'm seeing if we should leave, and we're not. We're going to do one more. Let's see. Is there any other saboteurs we can clear? Is there anything else we need to do? Yes. On the right side of the chart, no. The left side of the chart, yes. It does. So let's just clear as much as possible, this is true, the emotional resonance of everything that you had to do, heart walls and trapped emotions. I know I'm doing a lot at the same time. We would go back and do one at a time, but I think what I'd like to do right now is, because we've removed all these, is just to clear the emotional resonance that you've had to build up to live with all these things. So just tap over the top of your head to clear the emotional resonance. I'm not going to go into individual right now because we don't have time. Is that okay? Yes. I'm just going to clear some of the emotional resonance. Again, normally we go one at a time. But this is just to give you some support. Okay. So you can heal. Okay. And can we clear any of the heart wall? No, we can't do anything right now, so let's just clear the emotional resonance that you've set up so this can start to heal. Okay. All right, Amy, is it okay if we go to the next person?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I just want you to put your hand, Amy, put your flat of your palm on your chest, and I just want you to breathe with the flat. It's what we're doing is you're using your palm to push on, because meridians are on both sides of our body. They're mirrored, and so just where we were tapping with both hands on the both sides of where your necklace would hang, I just want you to put your whole hand on your chest while you're breathing so that you can balance yourself to this emotional resonance release and to these saboteur releases, just to ground you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And let's go to the next person. Much love, Amy.
Okay. What's going to happen is everyone's going to be cut off in 5 minutes. The call automatically drops. There's no way I can keep the call going after 5 minutes. So we're going to take 301 area code. He's been holding, or he or she's been holding for 28 minutes. So in the 301 area code, what's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? Are you there in the 301 area code? No, they might just be listening in. Okay. So I'm going back to Deva because she's the first caller. Okay. Deva, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, so you're being triggered by other people, yes?
Yeah, it's good. Amy,
No,
you can tell she's a beautiful soul, so.
Yeah, well, and I want to say that even if somebody doesn't deserve, quote, deserve to heal because they did something awful, if somebody does something awful, there's a reason why they thought it was okay to do something awful. We are a product of what we learned in our childhood. So when your parents do some bad things to you, it's because their background. So just by being able to understand that people don't mean in their hearts to do terrible things. So Amy is a wonderful person, and Deva, that's great to have wonderful people, but I just want you to know that it doesn't necessarily mean that if someone is, like if I work with a lot of abused women, and their husbands should not ever hit them, right? But when I work with the women, their husbands tend to stop hurting them because what we're doing is we're just healing everyone. So just working with each individual person and tapping along with that person will help everyone. So, Deva, so has it helped you feel better about yourself working with tapping with Amy?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. Has anything else come up for you? How is not being good enough? What on 0 to 10? Where are you?
I'm gonna say 5. I'm ready to feel good about myself.
Okay. Okay. So let's just do a little more for you. Let's just go back to the body code. All right. There's the left side of the chart, not the right side of the chart is an energy. Okay, so like I said, probably on this call I'm going to get a lot of energies because I'm releasing it. Okay, am I connected to Deva? Yes. Okay, is it emotional? Is it post-traumatic? Okay, we have a lot of things going on. Should we start with emotional? Okay. Is it a trapped emotion? No, it's a heart wall, yes. Okay, that would make sense that you've released a lot of trapped emotions just by tapping along so that you would have some heart walls which are a little harder to work on, not necessarily. So we have a little, and also I need to tell you that with self-esteem, there's a lot of hidden heart walls. Okay, because with I'm not good enough, you don't even deserve a heart wall. So they have to be hidden. So we're going to have the hidden heart walls, which is, of course, not true, but that's what you think. So that's good. Is it column A? Yes. Is it odd? Yes. Is it 1? Okay, I'm getting, do I have a connection to Deva? Yes. Is it 1? It's abandonment. Okay. And also abandonment, that A1 with abandonment, betrayal, those kinds of things, a lot of I'm not good enough. So we'll start with abandonment. So just let's just get you out of where you are. Just tap on the collarbone point. Just tap.
Okay.
And allow yourself to feel that and release that emotion.
In 1 minute, the call is going to automatically drop off, so I'm sorry for everyone who gets cut off.
That's okay. So just tap on your collarbone point. While you tap on your collarbone point, I'm going to tap over the governing meridian about abandonment. You keep tapping on your collarbone point. I'm going to tap on the top of your head for abandonment, releasing the abandonment. Okay. What should happen is you should feel more grounded and not as, you'll still feel emotional, but it won't feel as disconnected. And now I'm going to say the betrayal. Okay, I'm going to do the betrayal. Okay. We're lost 11. Let's just keep doing that.